We have a major Penguins trade update, and this is big as forward Bryan Rust has made his intentions clear on where he stands with the Penguins organization, and this has fans absolutely fired up. Hello everyone, welcome back to Penguins Digest. We have a very fun video for you today because Bryan Rust, it sounds like he wants to stay in Pittsburgh, everyone. So we're going to talk about what he said about the organization today in a huge article from The Athletic, and talk about what does this mean for the future of the Penguins if they actually do want to move on from him. Before we get into that, make sure you guys do, of course, subscribe to the channel. We are currently at 67.5% of viewers who are not subscribed. And we are trying to up that, or I guess lower that section and up the subscribe section up from 32. So if you are in that large portion of unsubscribed viewers, hit that subscribe button. We are covering absolutely everything Pittsburgh Penguins right when it comes out. We got the news for you on Penguins Digest in the most digestible way possible. So if you look down below, hit that subscribe button. It's super easy. And also, if you guys do want to join the Digest team and talk about your favorite Pittsburgh organization, whether it be baseball, football, hockey, whatever it may be, check the link below. Also check the pinned comment section, because the Digest Media team is always looking to expand. And if you are passionate about sports and you want to talk about it, you want to make you want to bring your passion to a large audience, check that link. It's really easy to apply, and we are always checking and always looking for passionate fans who want to bring their opinions and their conversation to the table here. But I have rambled on for 90 seconds here. Let's get into the bulk of the video. So first things first, we do have this article, obviously, from Josh Yohe, who has been carrying these videos and also Penguins Twitter over the past, offseason. He tweeted, obviously the article is, Bryan Rust, a very proud Pittsburgh Penguin, never wants to play anywhere else. And to add to it, he said, Bryan Rust hears all the trade talk. He hopes it never happens. Rust is eager to pass along all he has learned to the next wave of Penguins. We chatted yesterday and he was more passionate than ever about the only team he has known. Read about him more here. So obviously, let's get into the article here. This was an amazing article. I do 100% recommend reading it for yourself on The Athletic. Super easy to access. All right. Quote 1. For me, I just want to personally continue that winning culture that's been in Pittsburgh for so long. Rust said, that good culture, that good character that's been here, I want that to be passed along year after year so that culture doesn't slip. To me, that's important. To me, that's a big deal. And of course, for someone like Bryan Rust, who is very important to the Pittsburgh Penguins, because he was, I guess a really young player on those back-to-back Cup champions. But the Penguins have had a winning culture for a super long time. Even it goes back there. You're one of the most illustrious franchises, some of the best players. And I think Bryan Rust kind of does get, underrated in terms of Penguins greats. Obviously, he's not, the Letangs, Crosbys, Malkins, Joggers, Lemieux of the world. But I think he's still a very, very loyal Penguins player. And for someone who is invested in the team outside of just winning, keeping the culture going, he's clearly very loyal, and I honestly love that for Pittsburgh. I think there's been a lot of news about, the Penguins have to trade everyone, reinvent the team, start a new era. Maybe it's not that simple, and it would be nice to see some familiar faces around, just keep the morale and the vibes up. So I feel like the offseason was pretty negative for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Again, if you look at the channel, we didn't have a lot of videos that are like, everyone wants to stay. This is good. There was a lot of just trade rumors festering in the offseason, but now that training camp has started and the questions are being asked, I think it's cool to see that Bryan Rust does want to stick around, similar to guys like Crosby and Malkin, because Bryan Rust is obviously very, very solid. And I think for the Penguins, obviously he was a super, super good player, and still is. I don't know why I said was, but looking at his career stats, obviously last year he was almost a point a game. He had 65 points in 71 games, I believe 35 goals there. Just super, super productive. A goal scoring, just a consistent goal scorer as well, consistent point getter. And I think one of the most important aspects of Bryan Rust's game is how well he plays with Sidney Crosby. I know people say it's always easy to play with elite players, and certainly Crosby does make it easy. We know he's played with a lot of wingers that, we wouldn't expect to play first-line minutes, but Bryan Rust has been kind of the staple there for almost 10 years, going back to 15-16, where he played 41 games. I know he was a part of, I guess no, he wasn't. I was going to say the HBK line, but that wasn't him. But he was decent in the cup runs too. I remember that almost 10 years ago, which is crazy. But now Rust is a little bit older. He's been around the league. He's a veteran now, but he's still playing very productive. And even in the playoffs, he was pretty solid in his last run in 21-22, where he had 8 points in 7 games. And then looking at those cup runs with Pittsburgh in 15-16 and then 16-17, he had 9 points in 23 games played. And then the year after that, he also had 9 points in 23 games played, where very consistent there. But I think Bryan Rust is kind of happy where he is. He has the 2 cups. He got them early in his career, scratched that off the list. And I think right now he just wants to give back to the franchise. That just kind of that gave him a lot because in another quote he said, this is from Philip Tomasino, on his leadership. I didn't know much about him when I got here. I learned pretty quickly that he just does everything the right way. Awesome player, awesome human. I've gone to him for advice, and he always has time for you. So Bryan Rust clearly, taking on a leadership role in Pittsburgh. I assume he doesn't wear a letter because they just give it to Crosby, Malkin, and Letang. But, for me, he's someone, if one of those players do move on and Rust is on the team, I think Rust deserves a letter as much as anyone. An alternate captaincy would be, super, appreciative of what he's done. But again, I guess Letang and Malkin do take precedent, obviously, because they've been there forever. But I would love to see him get maybe a letter at some point. Would be super, super cool. Because also he's, someone that's been super loyal to the franchise. He said, I don't want to speak for other guys in the room, of course, who have been around, even though I assume they feel the same. But for me, personally, it's just about the organization. This is the organization that gave me a chance. They took a chance on me a long time ago. A lot of people thought I would never develop into an NHL player, but they took the chance on me and stood by me for a long time. Now I'm an NHL player because of that. And a super solid NHL player at that, especially for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Because for those of you that may not know, Bryan Rust is actually top 10 in Pittsburgh Penguins goals. Right now he is 9th, sitting behind Jake Gensel, who's obviously on Tampa Bay now, so he won't be adding more goals to his total. And to me, if Bryan Rust stays on the team, I think he could pass Jake Gensel this year if he stays healthy, of course. Could maybe even pass Kevin Stevens in the next 2 years if he does stay healthy and plays a consistent play. I don't know if he'll get up to 312 or 316, but, slight chance he could be top 5 in goals when it's all said and done, but he probably just play 5 more years or 6 more years at a consistent pace. But that's only, 116 goals he would need to score? Or 114 goals, actually, to pass him. So I think it could be cool if Bryan Rust stays along and he just keeps adding to the record books. Just looking at this, too, it looks like Crosby could pass Lemieux in the next 2 years, which would be super interesting. Wow, Lemieux was really good. I don't know what else to say. But, Lemieux was crazy. But anyway, back to Bryan Rust. 638 games played for the franchise, which is a lot. It could even go up higher this year if he does not get dealt. And it seems like by all things, he does want to stay in the team because he also did say, we have a winning legacy here. You're supposed to show guys how to win. That's such a fine line in this league, being guys who make it and play consistently in the NHL as opposed to guys who get a cup of coffee but are plagued by inconsistency. I think I just love the longevity of it all. And if I can keep the kids we have coming up appreciating the mindset, that would be great. And I like to help them. And I think that's super important. I think it would be super cool for Bryan Rust to do that because obviously the Penguins have a lot of rookies coming up. I did a video on Tristan. A lot of people got mad at me in the comments yesterday about mispronouncing. I guess it's Tristan Bros, not Bras. I apologize for that. So Tristan Bros and then Rutger McGrody. The Finnish players they have coming up, someone like Koivunen comes to mind. There's some defensemen coming up, even their goalies. I think it's important to have that winning culture. You obviously are going to have Crosby. Seems like he's going to stay for the long haul. But you do want more than just Crosby. You don't want to absolutely trade everyone. I don't think that is the way to go. And Bryan Rust's contract isn't even that bad if they want to keep him. I think $5.125 million for the next, what will it be? I guess 3 years. I mean, he's 33 or 30. He's a little bit older now. So, it's interesting there how the age curve will affect him, but if you're going to trade him, unfortunately, now would be the best time to do it because he's still young and has a few years left on the deal, and it's pretty cheap with the cap going up. Also, $5 million and at 65 points in 71 games, I think, is a very, very solid deal. I was reading some of the Twitter comments to the article, and someone suggested he should take a more team-friendly salary and renegotiate. First of all, you can't renegotiate, but second of all, I don't think this contract is bad at all. So I like this deal for Bryan Rust, and I think at the end of it, he'll be 36, I believe. Maybe he has some left in the tank, but that remains to be seen. Another reason the Penguins want to trade him is because they have so much in cap space, so he's not really impacting their cap and ability to make trades. They still have $12 million in cap space, so he's not like a anchor of a contract that needs to be traded to get them within the cap. They're obviously going through a transitional couple years here, transitional era, and $12 million in cap is a lot, but we'll see what happens. So everyone, let me know what you guys think should the Penguins keep Bryan Rust, or should they look at trading him? I know Penguins fans are super set on keeping specifically Crosby, but in terms of, I guess the accessory or secondary scores like a Rust Raquel, would you guys want to trade them? Does it make sense to trade them? Or do you think the loyalty matters here in creating a winning culture for Pittsburgh coming up? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Make sure you guys hit subscribe to the channel, and we'll keep you updated here on Penguins Digest for all things Penguins. The preseason has started. The Penguins are looking decent, especially some of the young players, and the regular season is not that far away. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and of course we'll see you in the next one.